Bless all the land and the leaves and the trees and the air we breathe. The air we breathe in. Bless all the land and the leaves and the trees and the air we breathe.
Today we are doing our final march into Washington, D.C. We will arrive at the White House rally, just across White House. And I'm invited also as a speaker there, and I will give my greetings to Mr. Obama and let him know no to GMO, yes we can. This is my final message to Mr. Obama, because there's no need for GMO in the world at all.
On our way to Washington, D.C. Marching to the White House, completing our 313-mile walk from Brooklyn to D.C. to demand that Congress start labeling genetically modified organisms. We're going to give Obama a friendly reminder that he ran on that campaign promise in 2007. It is now October 16, 2011, and it has not happened. And we believe that consumers have a right to know what is in their food.
They have to label this food, huh?
Yeah, that's what we're pushing for. Obama promised us
Yes.
at the beginning of his term that he would do this, and so we're just going to give him a little reminder.
So necessary.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you. Headed down to D.C. Do this thing. Tell Obama to keep his promise.
Here's what genetically modified foods are. They're generally called GM or GE foods. GE stands for Genetically Engineered Foods. Sometimes they're called Roundup Ready crops or HT crops. We don't find it in nature. These are things that we are doing in labs. And we do it for a couple different reasons. One, so that these plants can be tolerant to the herbicides that are sprayed on them. So that as these really harsh chemicals are sprayed on these plants, it doesn't kill the plants themselves and it just kills the weeds. It makes them tolerant to these nasty chemicals, which is a pretty scary thing. It also makes plants produce toxins that kill agricultural insects. So as these pests, these agricultural pests come onto the plants, the plant itself will kill those pests. I don't know about you guys, but this is all starting to sound like a lot of food that's glowing green, the color of our t-shirts. It's not natural stuff, it's nasty stuff.
What happens when you eat low doses of insecticide in your corn over 20 years? And what happens when you eat herbicide-tolerant soybean with whatever compound that enables high doses of weed killer to be applied to your food? Every nation in Europe, Japan, 50 countries around the world, they give their citizens the right to know if they're eating genetically engineered foods so that they can opt out of the experiment of what happens when you eat these foreign compounds. I don't want to be eating insecticide. Sounds like a really bad idea.
How can you deny labeling to genetic modification when you insist on labeling on how much calcium and sugar is in your food? If nutrition is a mandatory labeling, genetic modification must be mandatory labeling too. We in the organic movement know it makes a difference how food is produced. That's why we have process labeling. And organic labels are there. But we also need to know what's not organic. And the moment food is genetically modified, it's not organic. The onus just can't be on the organic movement. It must be on the polluters, contaminators, and toxic drug pushers in our food system.
Now our children are born with pesticides in them, and this is very well documented. And it's time to say ya basta on that. We don't want our children and we don't want us with all these pesticides and contaminants in our bodies anymore. Everything that biotech promised, they failed on, and now they're even giving us more promises, and we know they're going to fail on that too. There is no quick fix out there.
The next time a company says, prove it to me that those things are unhealthy, I want you to turn around and say, prove prove it to me that they are healthy, and I will eat them.
I want to congratulate everyone that participated and organized the right for our rights, our freedom of rights to choose the food we want to eat. And that's very important. There's more to just GMOs. It's the whole issue of the patents on life, which is very important to all of us, our future generations.
We have marched 313 miles! 313 miles! From New York City! From New York City! To right here! For this moment! For this moment! To get GMO! Food! Labeled! We believe that we all have the right to know! And we invite all of you to march with us to the White House right now where we will rally. These GMOs have got to go. Now.
While we have the Occupy movement all over the place, recognizing how corporations are stealing our world, stealing the gifts of nature, stealing the gifts of our labor, it's the GMO-free movement that has understood how one corporation, Monsanto, is doing this.
And I realized that while none of us could do everything, all of us could do something. And that each one of us has the ability to affect remarkable change. Each one of us has something that we are uniquely good at. It's why you're here. And when you leverage that with something that you're passionate about, you can create extraordinary change. And so to me, there is nothing more patriotic that we could be doing than asking for the right to know what's in our food so that we can protect the health of the American children.
We need to make this movement one which engages with government. We can be angry, but we need to turn that into positive action. Now, my mother always taught me, always turn a negative thought into a positive action. You're here, that's an enormously positive action. Now we need to take it to the next step, so the right to know.
So this is what we can do. So this time next year in California, there is going to be a ballot initiative, and we're going to be 10 times, 100 times bigger. We're going to be canvassing every town. We're going to be knocking on doors and just, telling the truth to people.
And I'll just add to that today, World Food Day, this is being celebrated in the United States with more than 100 rallies across the country happening right now in solidarity with this. We deserve the same rights as people in Japan, Australia, Europe, and all the other places where GMOs are labeled or even banned. We do not have to be part of a science experiment against our consent, and today marks a historic shift. Let's keep our voices loud, and let's demand labeling and our right to eat non-GMO food.
We are here to commit ourselves to our food democracy, our food freedom, and the celebration of life on Earth. Thank you for being here.
We came all the way over from Germany just to say one thing to Mr. Obama. In his words, no to GMO, yes we can. No to GMO, yes we can, Mr. Obama. Keep in your promises. Thank you.
So we have got a right to know.
We have got a right to know.
If our food has GMOs.
If our food has GMOs.
All we want is a simple label.
All we want is a simple label.
For the food that's on our table.
For the food that's on our table.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Just get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Preacher man, don't tell me heaven is under the earth. I know you don't know what life is really worth. You see, all that glitter is gold. Half the story has never been told. So now you see the light. Stand up for your rights. Come on. Yeah. Get up, stand up. Be brave now. Stand up for your rights.